Welcome back. All right, we're at bars 5 through 8 of the pre-chorus, and here's where things get a little bit tricky. We have to, in this section, bring a melody across on the G string, which, if you're using a pick or fingernails, it's kind of easy. But with these bare fingers, it's not so easy. So we're going to be doing this based on a C minor 6 chord. Don't worry if you don't know what that is. I'm going to show you. So C, and then the first finger, first fret, that's E flat, and then the note A. Okay? And, well, how about I just play this for you to start, okay? Okay, so that's what this looks like in fast motion. Let me show you how I do this. I'm focusing on my thumb and middle finger as the two forces of my right hand. Middle finger is kind of playing the melody, thumb's playing the bass. And when I play this chord, let me show you where the placement of it is in the rhythm. The open G is on the and of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got to do a back strike there. So I'm very careful when I do this first one that top 2 strings are muted. She loves you. And then with the bar, I have to sort of very carefully adjust the bar to then bring the second string into the picture. So now the first finger is barring the second, third, and fourth string. Second finger is down. You can't even see it with the camera because it's such a small movement. But basically, when I start out, I'm only pressing the fourth string with the third finger. See, there's no second string. And then I just adjust it ever so slightly so that then I get the melody note there. Add the pinky, and then I take everything except fourth and second off, and I slide my fourth finger down. It's not an independent slide. It's sort of like I just have to go to a whole different shape. So don't think that that's all on your pinky. It's a whole different posturing of the left hand. Okay? Don't worry, I'll play this for you slowly. Let's keep going. Next, what I do is I've got second and fourth finger down on the A and D. 1 and 2 and 3 and I don't know how I do this. I'd have to watch myself playing it, but I think I bring my thumb. Yeah. Now you don't have to do this. But I bring my thumb over the top just enough to mute the lowest 2 strings. You don't have to do it like that. Some of you, if you've studied classical, I know many classical guitarists who learn fingerstyle, it's just too foreign to bring the thumb over the top of the neck. So don't worry about that. Just, you can make it, you can even do the same thing. If you cleverly, let's say, touch your third finger on the 5th and 6th string, you can mute them. You just have to practice that move. Like I'm not pushing down hard enough to fret the notes. Okay? So this is bars 5 through 8. I'm going to do this in slow motion for you. And we're going to end with the, and we're going to go to a second verse. Okay, so here we go. Bars 5 through 8. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And we're back. We're back in a second verse. Okay. So we will go over the form later on, but we're going to do verse, pre-chorus, verse, pre-chorus. We've actually covered a lot of the material in the song already because there's just repeats and then knowing the form. So let's go to the next video where I show you how to play the hook. All right. Alrighty, we are back. And this lesson is going to be on the hook of the song. Also, I've been referring to it as the chorus. And so getting into it, there's one other little thing that I need to show you. When we're coming out of the second time through the pre-chorus, watch what I do here. This looks like a caveman chord, but it's the only way that I could do it. I grab the top 2 strings on the 10th fret, the D at the 7th fret, and I mute. I know you're cringing as you look at this. I mute the bottom 2 strings so that I'm getting the following notes. This is like one of those impossible Tommy Emmanuel left-hand chords where he goes, hey, it's easy, just play it like this. And then, of course, you know, his thumb's at the 1st fret and his pinky's up at the 12th fret. So I'll try to come up with an alternative for this. I know it's a bizarre chord, but it's just D. It's just to get so we can strum like a pig or like a guitar playing pig with the right hand. Let me show you this in context so you see what I'm talking about. A 1, 2, 3. It's just that bam bam bam. Okay, now if this is impossible for you, here's an alternative. I'm coming up with this on the spot. Play this and then 10th fret down there. So you fret 3 notes, and then it's pretty easy to mute all the other strings so that you just have those 3 D notes ringing. So, matter of fact, I might change what I do. It's not really that different. It's just sort of like a viola player in our little string quartet caught a cold and had to stay home. So we just have all Ds. So there you go. There's an alternative to get into that. One more time. Okay, now we're back. This is now the hook. And you'll notice going into it, because I'm just in this strumming frenzy, I just went right for the 1 finger thing to get that melody out. And I muted on the way up and then got that. I muted the high E string when I did that melody note, then I added the G with the index. Okay, then, all right, then A7, Now, here's where it differs from what we did in the intro. I do this totally like a bass player now, with almost a bass technique. I come with the right hand like this. We've got to do, and we've got to play open G string. It could be 2 strings, or it could be 1 string. Okay, and now watch. We're going to do that C minor 6 chord again. I just do. Okay. Okay, I just use 1 finger. Everything else is muted, so I'm safe. I can strum carelessly over here. Then I like to use my index and middle here for this next thing. I go. Bam, bam, biddaloo, bee, ah. The phrase ends a little different than what you might expect. Now, the index and middle is just because I get a little bit more bite on the sound, and now we're down on the D and G string. If you were to do this with some sort of pick, it of course comes through much more cleanly. And depending on what gig of mine you come to, you might see me play it with a pick or with my fingers. I never know how I'm going to play this one. But if you're going to do it with your fingers, you want to make sure you get enough bite. Again, pull off, bass note. Let's play that phrase, this, you know you should be glad. See, we think of glad as the last note, but it's really glad. It's 1 word, but it's 2 notes. That's why we're doing the pull off. So let's take it from C minor 6 with the fingering like that, and take it just 2 bars to where we end on the G bass note. And I'm going to loop this a couple times so that you can practice along with the video. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4 again. 2, 3, and okay. Now let's put the G's on the front. And with a love like that. So it's going to be the open G string. Dun, 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 chord, chord, chord. Okay, let's do that much. Ready? Practice along with me. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay. One more time. 1, 2, 3. So that brings us into another verse, verse 3 and a pre-chorus. And so we've covered almost all the material of the song. The last thing left is how to end it, because there's some special stuff at the end that is tacked on to the end of a chorus, if that makes sense. The end of the song ends with a chorus, but with some extra stuff tacked on. So here's what we'll do. Next video, I'm going to show you the ending of the song. Okay? Then after that, we will do a full walkthrough of the form. And it's also going to be in the help file that you can download. And easiest and best solution, you can also, to cover the form and review this, call up a YouTube video where the Beatles are playing She Loves You, and you can compare this against what they're doing. Okay, so let's go to the next video where I teach you how to play the ending of the song. All right. All righty, we are back. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to end the song. It's after the third verse. After the third time through the verse, we play the hook again. I believe it's the second time that we hear it. Don't worry, I'll go over the form in the next video. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me sing it to you because you've probably heard it, but we're going to tag the With a Love Like That portion. So, she loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. And with a love like that, you know you should be glad. And with a second love like that, you know you should be glad. One more. And with a love like that, you know you should be glad. Okay, so I'm going to show you all that. Okay. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, she loves you. You know this. Then on the A7, she loves you, yeah, yeah. Now this section that we did in the last video, and with a love like that, you know you should be good. So that's the first time, and then we're going to try to go, which is, okay. And with a love like that, second time, you know you should be glad. What I wanted to say was that dong, dong, dong is a lot easier with the pick. Now third time, and with a love like that, you know you should. You're going to do a harmonic on the D string. Be glad. Okay, then we're going to come in with the yeah, yeah, yeah. I like to start with plucking the outside of the G string so that those middle strings can ring. Okay, so I'm just playing the lower part of a G chord, and then with the fourth finger, the first finger, and then the open E string getting that melody, then, and you might have to experiment with strumming, strumming versus plucking, what has the right feel, because you could do it like that, or you could do it. That might change from night to night as it does for me. Okay, then. So we did it on a G chord, yeah, yeah, yeah. Then on an E minor chord, yeah, yeah. Now we're going to do it on a C chord. And I like to go sometimes, if I can, to a G in the bass on the C chord. Okay. Now here comes the real challenge. When we get to the last chord, the Beatles sing this in 4-part harmony, I believe. And these are the notes. And I like to play them fretted. I play the D and the G string fretted at the 12th fret. And I also play the open E and B string. Now you'll notice I've gotten it so that the G string is just a little bit louder. And that's a trick that I learned from a video of a great guitar teacher, William Kennengeiser, I believe is the pronunciation, from the LA Guitar Quartet. He does a whole thing playing chords, but he shows you how to make a single note louder. So as you place the fingers, like I'm equally placed thumb, index, middle, ring finger on the top 4 strings, but I'm going to push a little bit ahead of time, like right now on the G string. And it's almost like it's pushed in a little bit deeper towards the top of the guitar, so it's vibrating a little further. Let's see if I could do that with a different string. What if I did it with the B string? Oops. I'd have to work on that. Thumb. There. It's not easy, but I've really worked on. I've worked more on getting the G string out. So it is possible to do that. You could also do harmonics if you wanted to. Okay. So I'm going to play this whole hook for you, this last one, with the repeats at the end, and then the pause, and then all that final stuff leading up to that last chord. I'm going to play it for you so you can see it in motion. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and. Wait there, leave it up in the air a little bit, and then be glad. And then what I like to do is for a little bit of show, I come over with the left hand, and with the side of my index finger, I grab a low G. It's always a little bit of showmanship, kind of like eating at Benihana's in New York City. There's one thing that I left out that I forgot to mention to you, and it's really characteristic, and it's great if you can get it. It's rather tricky for me to do with my thumb, bare thumb, and get the right sound, because it's more like a guitar pick on an electric guitar kind of sound. But let me show you what it is. After the Be Glad with the harmonics, be glad, when this comes in, when we're going to the E minor chord, we want to get. So let me show you that in time. Very often with the way that I'm currently playing, I kind of have to slap it, which is not really the optimal sound. But once again, remember, for people who've heard this, they're expecting to hear that lick, that little dong, 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 that bass lick in that spot. So I do my best to bring that out. So, you know you should. Try that again. That was kind of wimpy. Let me slap it and see how it sounds, okay? Okay, so it's not really coming out the way I'd like it to come out right now. But if I'm cranked pretty loud through a PA system, if I do this, the point gets across. Once again, with a flat pick, that's one of those things that would certainly sound much better. That's the sound. That's the sound that would be ideal. be a finger. Okay. So, as you can see, as I told you in the intro, this is heavily reliant on the sort of bashing and the fire and the feel that comes across. That's what really makes this arrangement. Okay, so here's what we'll do. Let's go to the next video where I do a full, slow walkthrough of the tune. And it's just basically going to be a lot of repeats of the same kind of stuff, but at least that way you can see the whole arrangement go by. All right. All righty, welcome back. So in this final video for the She Loves You Beatles lesson series, I'm going to slowly play through the arrangement, and I think I've described to you where you might see variations in the right hand. The main thing is that you get the musical ideas and adapt it to a technique that is comfortable for you. Okay, so let's go. I'm gonna try to keep the tempo down on this. If you want to see it in full action, you can just watch the performance video from YouTube. That's with full gas and the sound that I go for when I perform. Okay, so here's a slowed down walkthrough version. Go 1, 2, intro. 1, 2, 3, and. Alrighty, so that's She Loves You. And, just one point to add. I can't stress this enough that please don't copy my technique just to copy my technique. A lot of how I'm doing this is informed by avoiding unpleasantness playing at high volumes through PA systems. If I was only staying at home or if I was recording, the whole approach would look very different. For example, when I play with a pick on the strings, even though it sounds great, especially a thumb pick, that sound coming through a stage monitor makes my skin crawl. Even though a thumb pick on a steel string is a great sound, when it's acoustic, when it's on a nice guitar with a lot of bass, other guys can deal with it. Other guys do it well. For example, that's one of the reasons that I'm playing with the flesh of my thumb, is to sort of run both sides against the middle of, well, it's acoustic guitar, but I have to electrify it a lot of the time. And that creates a more pleasant experience for me when it's electrified. So that may have nothing to do with how you play. So just go for your home base, go for your instinct, go for your comfort, and take what I've shown you here and do your version of it. Okay? Only thing, and I this is sort of my mantra, only thing you got to do, the only thing you have to keep out of everything I've shown you is the melody of the song. It doesn't have to be my fingering, but the listener has to hear the melody. And if you can approximate the groove as best as you can, that's 99% of the whole thing. The last 1% is if you can get a bass note on. And then if you can get some harmony notes in the middle, you're golden. So melody and groove is still the king, whether it's Beatles or anybody else. So I hope that you enjoy working on She Loves You. And if you play any other Beatles songs, this is a nice one to start to get a little medley. Now you have an upbeat one. And if you're here on the website, you'll see Yesterday is available, In My Life is available, Michelle is available, Get Back is available here on Study with Adam. So this is a nice contrast to have kind of an upbeat piece among the slower, prettier ones. I wish you well. Thanks for watching. I hope you have lots of fun working on She Loves You. God bless.